Okay, welcome back everybody. In this video, I'm gonna go through a quick troubleshoot session from the previous video of having MTU 9000 on the SU node. Thank you to the commenter from the previous video. I managed to figure out that we have to set the MTU on the physical network interfaces all the same in order for the OpenFabric SDN to route properly. So here, what I have now is MTU of 9000 on the node SU, and also the same MTU of 9000 on PO node. So between two of those, if we do show OpenFabric Route, we should be able to see that these two nodes are routing properly. The PO, if we do OpenFabric neighbor, we can see that so it's from SU node, we can see that PO is up and Leo is initializing, and this is because there is a mismatched MTU on Leo node. And if we go and do that, there is only 1500 MTU there. So we simply need to change that to MTU of 9000 for the high speed in jumbo frames to go through the 10 gig network interface card. So we just need to go and apply that on each physical network interface card. And we click on apply configuration. Just like that, we should be able to see that PO is up again. And if we do the route table, it should show up any minute now to have like the routing table of Leo on it. There we go. So we can see that the Leo route, the Leo's IP address from the OpenFabric, and that's it. Okay, now that we have configured that part and all the underlying necessary preparation work for software-defined network with OpenFabric's protocol is deployed, we are going to deploy Ceph cluster on top of that. So I'm aware that there are a lot of Ceph tutorials already out there, but this is going to be my take of deploying Ceph on SDN, which makes things a lot easier. So I'm just going to follow the usual steps. Here, Proxmox makes it fairly simple to have Ceph installed. So for this one, make sure if you have enterprise subscription, make sure you choose it. For me, I don't have any subscription, so I am going to be just using no subscription repository to install Ceph from. I'm going to start doing installation here. I'm going to click yes. That should be done. In the configuration part, this is where we'll need to select that software-defined network that we created. So we're going to have to choose this. In the cluster network IP CIDR, make sure this stays the same. So I'm just going to put that as default, same as public network. Number of replicas should be 3. Minimum replicas should be 2, because we only have 3 nodes in this cluster. Now that the installation is successful on the node Leo, I'm going to go and do the same on the other nodes and create additional Ceph monitors, OSDs, and pools. Finish. Now the configuration is done. Monitor is also done together with a manager. Now what we need to do is we need to create object storage daemon. Interesting. So I don't seem to have the disk. Okay, so I need to, for this one, I actually need to go and plug in the SSD for the node physically. So I'll be right back for this one. Okay, I'm back. So what I did was just, go and make sure that the external SSD with the USB-C is plugged in properly. And here we can see that there's an SSD already here. So we are going to create an object storage daemon, OSD, and make sure to target that 1 terabyte SSD disk on it. So I'm going to create. And if I do a reload anytime now, we should be able to see the OSD coming up. There we go. So it's up. Now we're going to have to do the same. Ceph is not installed. Okay, let's do that. Let's quit installation. Hold up. Did I choose audio? Nope. Okay, I'm gonna start that again. There was a bit of a fast fingers there. I just have to make sure that I'm choosing no subscription because I have not bought one. So something to take note of. Configuration is already done. And we're gonna have to create OSD for this node. Okay, let's double check that we have the extra disk here, which is the 1 terabyte SSD. I'm going to create that, create an OSD on that disk, and create. And that should bring up OSD in a while. I'm also going to create a monitoring node on this node together with the manager. OSD is running. Monitor for the two nodes are up. And let's move on to the last node. All right, okay. So we're going to have to create OSD on the last node. But let's double check that there is an SSD here. Okay. Now we're going to create the OSD. Create. Interesting. All right, folks, I'm back and I managed to troubleshoot that. So what happened was when I was creating that, there was a mismatch in the Ceph Bootstrap OSD keyring. I checked that by looking at both the other two nodes and check the difference between those, to check some of these files. So we're supposed to have the same key rings here. What happened was on the last node 2, we did not have the same check some of the Ceph keyring. So what I did was just copy and paste it from the other two nodes and created it. And now that was successful. And the OSD is coming up nice and well. For the monitor itself, I basically had to go to cd etc Ceph, look at the Ceph configuration. Because it was a reinstall, what I did was I had to take out this IP address from here together with this mon.su configuration. I took that out and I basically did like a systemctl restart ceph mon.service.target basically. I'm not going to go and do that right now, but yeah, basically this is what I did to bring up the monitor.su in this case. And that is basically creating the cluster. Now let's test out creating the storage pool. Creating the pool should be fairly straightforward. I am just giving it a name. And I'm basically gonna keep everything default. So if we look at the screenshot here, size is 3 and minimum size is 2. The number of PG stays the same too. And I'm going to add that as a storage. That should bring up the storage pool across all of the nodes within the data center. That looks good. This is for both virtual machine and container volumes. What I'm going to do is I'm also going to add a Ceph file system pool to download all the ISOs and everything. I'm going to create. So we need to create a metadata server first to create a Ceph file system. I'm going to create this first, and that should allow me to create Ceph FS. That looks good. There we go. So that should also show up in here across all the nodes. But what we need to go and do is we'll also need, because we only have the metadata server on SU, we'll also need to go and create that on here to avoid single point of failure. I'm also going to do that in Leo. That should suffice. Cool. Now I am going to go and download a ISO image. I'm going to pause it and let it download first. So I'm just in the middle of downloading the Debian 13 Trixie, and we can see that the cluster is doing its work. It's about 50 megabits per second being written to the storage cluster itself. And it looks fairly healthy. So I'll be monitoring that and let you know once the download is complete. Well, the download has been completed. I'm gonna change my test a bit, and instead of installing a whole new OS, I'm gonna use a test virtual machine that I've already pre-deployed here. Right now, this is currently on the local LVM. I'm gonna migrate it to the newly created Ceph pool. I'm gonna do a delete source, and I'll let it run, and once it's done, oh, okay, seems like it's already completed. That was really fast. So this is currently on the Ceph pool, and if we did everything correctly, so this is on, let me see. Okay, there we go. So there is an IP address assigned to this. And if we've done everything correctly, we should be able to migrate this virtual machine with very minimal downtime. So I'm just going to do, I'm just going to create open up a new console to the side. I'm going to bring it here. And I'm going to push this to the side too. I'm going to do pinging to google.com just to ensure that this machine stays up. And I'm going to do a migrate to Leo. Shoot. Okay. So I'm going to have to go and delete the CD drive. And hopefully that allows me to migrate. Okay, so I have rebooted the machine, and I have pointed it to the CephFS ISO storage with the Linux Mint Simon instead of having a local LVM ISO stored. So now that should allow us to do migration to another node. I'm going to keep the ping to Google. I'm going to do a migrate on the VM. Let's do a migrate. There we go. It's transferring so far. And there's a bit of a connection drop. The pings still go through in that case. And now we can see that there's no more machine on the node PO, and the test VM that I wanted to test out is already on Leo. So yeah, that comes to the end of the creating the Ceph cluster. Thank you for watching, everybody. If this helped, please give it a like, and if you want to see more of this content, please subscribe to the channel. In the next video, I'm going to be doing a tour of my Homelab network segmentation. Bye bye.